Well, good morning, everybody. This is the Weather Monkey. We're not chasing storms today, but as you can see in front of me is smoke from the Boundary Waters / southern Canada moving into southeast Minnesota. So I thought I'd just take a short stream here and let you get a perspective of the smoke from the fires. This part of southeast Minnesota along the Mississippi River will give you a unique look at it because this is well known as the driftless area where the glaciers didn't scour the earth flat. And we're in the Mississippi River Valley because of that. There are bluffs. So that'll give you a perspective of the view with the bluffs in the background. As you can see, the smoke is settled in pretty good in this valley. Now we're at the southeast end of Minnesota, so the smoke has had several hundred miles to dissipate. And what it has done, obviously, is into this area and caused air quality issues. So like I said, we'll just take a few minutes here and stream for a little bit. Now the sun is shining. It's filtered heavily by the smoke. Normally, the visibility is really, really good around here. You know what this reminds me of, though? Reminds me of China and pictures that come out of China of their air quality. That's what this reminds me of. Of course, theirs is from industrial pollution, where this is wildfire smoke, which is bad, but it's not as bad as industrial pollution. There's a lot of organic vegetation being burned. See those raccoons right there trying to cross the road? There's 4 of them in the middle of the day. Everybody's had a good summer so far this year. I know I've had a good summer. It's been a little warm the last 4 or 5 days, but it doesn't really bother me to be that warm, because I know that in 6 months it could be 15 below zero. So take a few hot days in the middle of the summer. It's okay. just a little better. I can tell the air is not healthy, other than just by looking at it. I walk every morning about 2 miles, if not 2 miles. And I could tell this morning that I was going to have to slow my pace down. Normally I walk about an average 21 and a half minutes a mile. And today I was probably up to 23 and a half minutes a mile. And I could feel the air was bothering me with my breathing. Even though I was walking much, much slower than I normally would. But, you know, for a few days, walk a little slower, get through it. As far as the heat and the smoke now, this will clear up and we'll be back to normal air and temperatures, and I can get back into walking faster. But there's no point in trying to push it and hurting myself. So I purposely started out slower and walked slower the last 2 days, actually. Today is the worst. Yesterday there wasn't a whole lot of smoke. There was just a lot of humidity and heat. So I kept things in check, because I do have some health conditions with my heart that I have to watch. It has really nothing to do with anything I did through life. It's just one of those freak things where you get an enlarged heart, and you can take medications to assist your heart and make it function more efficiently, but the medication can only do so much. So when it gets weather like this, I automatically know slow down when I'm doing things outside. So as you can see, the smoke here, like I said, the bluffs really give you a perspective of how much smoke there is in the air. And this is, like I said, coming from northern Minnesota and up into Canada, the Boundary Waters area into Canada. And it's like this. I would say if you drew a line from west central Minnesota down through, well, west of St. Cloud, between Mankato, say Owatonna, and down to, well, some smaller towns, let's just say Waterloo, down to the I-80 corridor, everything east of there has this smoke. Hopefully this afternoon the wind will shift a little bit out of the southeast or southwest, hopefully the southwest, and it'll blow this smoke out of this area. What it needs to do is it needs to blow straight east off the fires, cut across southern Canada and out into the Atlantic Ocean. That's where it really needs to go. we'll go a couple more miles south. And then we'll turn around and come back this way. Once again, this is the Weather Monkey. I'm out here just kind of giving you an idea of the smoke that has settled into southeast Minnesota along the Mississippi River. And if you could possibly subscribe. I do chase storms in the upper Midwest area. So if you don't want to miss a storm, subscribe. I also would appreciate it if you'd hit that like button. So if you notice up ahead, you can see the smoke up against the bluffs. I'll turn around up here, head back the other way. So now we're heading northbound. We're actually heading west, but we're heading northbound on Highway 61 in southeast Minnesota. smog, actually. It's just plain old smoke. Times you get a real humid day, and it can not, it's not this bad, but you can see the humidity, the haze in the sky. But this is definitely not humidity. This is the smoke. Like I said, it's from wildfires up in the Boundary Waters area of Minnesota up into Canada. And it's made its way down here with the wind. I know parts of Minnesota were worse than this yesterday. And I think the more farther north and east you go from here, say up through Eau Claire, Wausau, Stevens Point, I think up in that area it's worse than it is here. And I can see some clouds up, of course, above the smoke. And there is a chance of rain this afternoon. So we'll see if that happens. Sometimes when you get a lot of smoke in the atmosphere, it ruins the dynamics of the lower air warming and rising. But we'll see what happens. And you can even smell this. First thing when I walked outside this morning was smelled like the neighbors were having their fire pit smolder all night. That's how it smells. Although this smells more like it doesn't smell like you put a wood log on a fire and you can smell the wood burning. It smells more like a mix of everything. Different woods, different organic material. It doesn't smell like a wood fire. It's kind of like you walk in your house after you've been at somebody's campfire and you got that smell on your clothes. It kind of smells like that, but not as woody. It smells like, I don't know if you've ever been around a swampy area that's burned off in the fall. That's pretty much what it smells like. It doesn't really smell like somebody threw a couple logs of hickory on a fire and it's got that nice smell to it. It'd be nice if it did, but it doesn't. So I've pretty much shown you as much as I can here, so I'll probably end the stream. Like I said, I didn't plan on going on live for very long, just enough to give you an idea of how the smoke really looks, because if you're in an area that's pretty much flat, doesn't have a whole lot of hills, the only perspective you get is a shorter area of distance and trees and stuff in that area for a backdrop. backdrop to show you. So I thought I would do it. I'll go up here and I'll take a left, and then I'll take another left and take one more good look at the bluffs. That way I won't have to make a thumbnail, because the thumbnail I would probably use would be the one that you're going to be looking at when I end the stream. So I'll go up here a little farther. Actually, I need to go to High V anyways to pick up a few things, so I'll make another left up here and go over into High V, and I'll end the stream then. That's a good spot to end the stream anyways. So thanks for watching, everybody. Like I said, please subscribe and make sure you click on that like button. So I got to get my mouse over here where I need it. I'll just park right here.